Ivanka Trump thought she could get away with calling Jasmine Crockett Ghetto. But what happened live on TV shocked everyone. Jasmine's fiery clapback didn't just shut Ivanka down. It left her completely speechless. You need to see this moment. The stage lights were hot, almost blinding, casting a golden glow over the studio. Cameras hummed quietly, the audience whispering as they settled in. At the center of it all sat three chairs. The host in the middle, Ivanka Trump in cream, poised and polished, and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in deep blue, calm and steady. The night was meant to be simple, a conversation about women in leadership, no fireworks, no drama, development and prosperity initiative. And we launched it this past year with the thought process that, while there was a great amount of work being done in the United States government towards the goal, but sometimes tension arrives without warning, and this was one of those nights. Ivanka spoke with that practiced calm, her voice measured and smooth. She talked about presentation, about how leaders should carry themselves. Then with a faint smile, she dropped the word. Some people use ghetto language in politics to do real work. Vision becomes reality. When my father says that he will make America great again, and it lowers the tone. It was subtle, but the effect was instant. A few in the audience shifted. Some turned toward Jasmine. The air thickened. Ivanka hadn't said a name, but everyone knew who she meant. Jasmine didn't move right away. She simply fixed her gaze on Ivanka, her lips pressing together, her shoulders straightening like a boxer before the bell. She waited. Let the silence do the work. The camera zoomed in. The host tried to smooth things over, but the moment had already shifted. Finally, Jasmine leaned forward slightly, her voice low but sharp. Say it to my face. Be honest about it, right? Like the why lie? Because it doesn't implicate, right? But the fact that you're lying makes it look like, what else are you lying about? Words landed like a gavel in a courtroom. The audience stirred. Ivanka's smile faltered. She blinked, hesitated, smoothed her sleeve. Well, she began, I wasn't speaking about you directly, but Jasmine lifted a hand calm but firm. If you have something to say about me, say it clearly. Don't dress it up. Don't slide it into a sentence like it's harmless. A lot of things he could be working on, but for some reason he is constantly focused on me. Let me be clear. Say it for what it is. The room froze. Jasmine continued, steady but sharper now. When you call someone's speech ghetto, you're not talking in a borrow culture. You're saying they're less intelligent, less capable, less worthy. And that judgment has been thrown at people for generations. If you believe it, own it. If you don't, ask yourself why you said it at all. Ivanka glanced at the host, searching for escape. But none came. Jasmine pressed on. Words have power. You can't claim unity and then use language that divides. Intent doesn't erase impact. Maybe you didn't mean it, but when people hear that word, they remember the history, the judgment, the exclusion, the pain. The studio was silent, not the silence of boredom, but of reflection. Jasmine's voice was calm, but every syllable carried weight. She turned to the audience now, teaching as much as confronting. Ghettos weren't chosen. People were forced into them, isolated, given fewer resources, worse schools, and then blamed for living in poverty. The word became a weapon used to make people feel small, to keep them out of rooms like this one. And when someone in power uses it, the harm is louder, heavier, more lasting. The audience leaned in, heads nodded slowly. Even the nervous host had gone still. Jasmine's eyes returned to Ivanka. Respect isn't just for people who look like you, talk like you, or come from your background. Respect means listening, understanding, and avoiding words that wound. So tell me, is that the message you want to send? That certain voices don't belong? That certain people are beneath you? Ivanka inhaled, her voice softer now. That's not what I meant. The confidence was gone. Jasmine nodded once, then owned that your words didn't match your intent. Because when people hear that word, they don't think about what you meant. They think about every time it was used to shut them out. The phrase hung in the air, shut them out. It was no longer about Jasmine alone. It was about history, about who gets to sit at the table and who's told they don't belong. Jasmine leaned back, her voice unwavering. I'm not here to embarrass you. I'm here to make far you understand. Words like that can close doors for people who are already fighting to be heard. Ivanka nodded faintly, but the balance of power had shifted. The polished calm she carried at the start of the night was gone. Jasmine had taken control without raising her voice, only by standing firm in truth. The host tried to move on, but